Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, I hope all of you are fine and studying at home and giving due time to your studies. You know very well that the schedule for your second monthly test, which will be conducted in December, has been announced. You're going to have your test on 20th of December, which will be coming Sunday. The outline is also announced to you in your WhatsApp groups, that is chapter number 8. Okay, so let me open this chapter. This is chapter number 8. Animations in Flash. So you would have received this announcement in your WhatsApp groups. One file has been sent to you saying that the computer science test will be conducted on 20th of December and chapter 8 animations in Flash is included for this test. Animations in Flash. Flash CS3. So this is the chapter that we have already done. We have gone through their lab activities. We have gone through the questions and answers of the exercise as well. The questions in this test will come not only from the exercise, the questions can come from the exercise as well. But unseen questions can also come from the text of the book, just like the test was conducted. The test was conducted in the month of November. Okay, so I had already shared your marks with your class teachers. Your class teacher has got your marks, and I think the subjective marks I had not returned to you. Yes, I had written the subjective marks as well to you in the Google Classroom for that test. Okay, now we are going to have a revision for this chapter. We will see this chapter again today, that how one question can be asked, and MCQs will be there, of course. Short questions will be there, of course. So we have to do it accordingly, and we have to prepare not only for the MCQs but also for the short questions. All the things in this chapter we have already seen practically. We have applied all the things. Nothing is there that we have not done or we have not applied practically. All the demonstrations are available in your Google Classroom. You will be able to see all the demonstrations are available for this chapter, chapter number 8. Okay, you can see over here that the chapter number 8 is available in your Google Classroom. We had started, I think, we had started it on 8th of November and we had done this chapter. So this is the chapter that will come in your paper. Fine, this thing is clear. Everyone should be clear about the outline. You will read the text carefully. The questions will come from this text. And I'm not saying that all the questions will come from the exercise. Questions may come from the exercise, but steps questions will not be there. How will you draw the object? Shape? No, this kind of questions will not be there. Define, explain. Okay. Similarly, the different options related to different tools, such kind of questions will be there. Laiba Khan, you want to ask something? I have unmuted you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, I want to ask about our work. Sir, you sent it as the work of chapter number 8, but sir, I want to ask about some questions. Sir, the questions are not in our book, so are they unseen? Some of the questions, sir, after E, you've written A, B, D, E, and after E, the questions are not in our book, so are they
But I
unseen?
had taken the questions from the book.
Okay,
I am in all the chapters, I am giving those exercises from the book. So I will
Okay,
recheck
sir.
it anyway, doesn't matter. But all the questions are related to this chapter Flash. Okay, you just go through it.
Okay, sir.
But in this test, what we are going to have, in this test, we are going to have this chapter. So we are going to have the revision over here. First, you know that the timeline window is there. Let me open the Flash as well. In the last test, we had the questions which were, you know, about it, that previous chapter was there, chapter 7, and different questions were there from the chapter 7, and the tools used, we had applied different tools. Over here we have gone through some more things, just like the timeline. What is the timeline? Now question can come, define timeline. What is meant by keyframe? What is the purpose of the playhead? So over the timeline you will say that there are keyframes. These are the frames basically. We can insert keyframe by pressing F6. Okay, blank key frame we can insert by pressing F5. There is always a default layer with the name of layer 1. We can include multiple layers from here. Okay, depending on our requirement. We keep different objects separate from each other because of the use of the layers. And timeline, over the timeline you will see this is basically the playhead. When we press F6, so over here it is the playhead where we make some animation. So playhead is going to show you different positions of the object when you move it from left to right or right to left. What is actually going on in the animation? So you may have the question related to timeline, what it does, define timeline, what is the keyframe? Keyframe is, mentioned by a black dot over here. Playhead, all these things. Okay, how can you insert? Now short questions can also, MCQs can also include the what is the key to have keyframe, what is the key to have normal frame, blank frame. Okay, so you may be asked such questions in the MCQs. Understanding layers. Layer are basically the containers for the objects. We draw different objects on different layers so that the objects should be separate from each other and they should not be mixed together. That's why the use of the layer is very important. We can add layers, we can delete layers, we can insert as many layers as we want. We have this button over here to insert this button to insert the new layers. This recycle button is showing you the option to delete one layer, but we will click that layer and then we can delete that layer. We can double click the layer and then we can rename it accordingly. For example, if we are writing circle, so it means that we are going to draw the circle on this layer. We give the layer names according to the objects drawn on the layer so that it should be convenient for the designer that what is actually happening on a particular layer. So can we rename the layer by double clicking? Yes, of course. So such kind of questions will be there. We can change the order of the layers as well. Order means the arrangement. Arrangement of the layers could be changed by moving the layers up and down. Okay, by default, each layer comes one after the other, means one after the other, one after the other, each layer comes. But what will happen if we want to change? If you see over here, if I add more layers, on 1, 2 has come, on 2, 3 has come, then over 3, 4 has come. If I want to bring the layer number 5 from this position to this position, now layer number 5 is on layer 1. So how do we change the position? We pick the layer with the mouse cursor and we bring it wherever we want to put it. We can change the position of the layers. So the question can come in this regard as well. You will read this text completely. Of course, all the questions will be there from how can you delete, select the layer, click on the recycle button or right click on the layer, the delete option will appear. Both the options are there. In the twin motion, although the twin motion contains mainly steps, but the question can come not to define steps, right steps. No, such kind of questions will not be there. Of course, you're not having computer in front of you because on computer you can perform these steps. So what we are going to have, Define twin motion. Describe twin motion, the objective, the purpose of the twin motion. In twin motion, what do? We place one object at one location and then we place the object by pressing F6 on the timeline at any frame, and we place the object on some other location or that frame, and then we create in between the twin motion. We have done this thing a number of times. So this is basically the methodology to create the twinning. In twin motion, the object's position is changed, but in shape twin, the object's shape is changed. This is basically the difference. We had applied both the things. We converted the uh, circle into polygon. We had done this kind of things in the shape twin. But what will happen in the twin motion? One circle is there, it is going from left to right or right to left or top to bottom in such kind of way. Primitive oval tool. We had discussed about the primitive oval tool. Primitive oval tool is the tool where we can change its shape into arc, or we can change its shape into half circle or quarter circle depending on our requirement. Means we can make change by changing its inner radius and start and end angle. Now if this question is there in your MCQ, that what is the use of the inner radius, what is the use of the inner radius, for example, and inner radius is there basically to increase the inside radius of the oval shape that you draw. Okay, so over here three things are there basically related to the primitive oval tool. These three things are not available in normal oval tool: inner radius, start angle, and end angle. So these kind of things can be asked in your MCQs. Okay, half circle, arc, we can make it an arc, we can make it in a half circle, such kind of things. Now, using the onion skin, what does it do? It shows you the step by step, you know, step by step movement, basically in the form of the onion skin. That's why this name is given. Onion skin features lets you see the relative position of an object over several frames. So if a definition comes, you can only write this thing. You can only write this thing if the definition comes. The onion skin feature lets you see the relative position of an object over several frames. Relative position, how it is going to move when we open this onion skin option. Fine. So if this question comes for 1 mark, you will have to write it accordingly. The question can come in the MCQs as well. Mask. We had done the masking as well in this chapter. Masking is basically hiding one layer, some portion of one layer, not all the portion. Just like we had done masking in using circle shape, and it was giving an effect of a telescope when we applied masking on a picture of a jungle, or it was basically a picture of a hill station. So basically we were moving a circle from left to right, giving a masking effect, and we were able to see only from that circle. So we can create a special animation effect with the masking feature. You can think of a mask layer as this curtain with a hole in it. And I am giving you the example of telescope. So both are, relevant examples. What is masking? How the masking is useful? Such kind of question can come. What is masking? Masking is hiding one layer, basically, uh, or some portion of one layer. That is basically called the masking. So MCQs can come from this thing as well. We can apply masking on one layer which is twin and one layer which is background. So background will be static, and twin motion, for example, if we have got twin motion with the circle, so we can mask the circle and only that portion of the background will be shown which is under that particular circle where it is moving. So in this situation, we can apply the masking in a good way to create good animated effects. Now, animation using a motion guide. We also applied the motion guide. We had done with it the bee. We took an image of the bee and we applied it on the motion guide. Similarly, we did it with the kite as well. Over here, they have given the example where what is the difference between motion guide and twin motion? Motion guide will have a random path which may have different turnings in it. But in twin motion, the motion will be straight, left to right to left, diagonal motion from one corner to another corner, bottom to up to bottom. Wherever the motion will be, it will be in one direction. But what happens in the motion guide, you may have a randomly, turned path on which, for example, one bee is flying on a randomly turned path. So that is not possible in the twin motion. It is only possible in the motion guide only. Okay, for example, if you are asked in the MCQs how you can import one image in the Flash, you will say that we will go to the file, import and import to Stitch. So if some different options are given to you in the questions that which one is the better option, you are going to select which one is the correct option. So you are going to select that file, import to Stitch. Such kind of questions can come because all these text which is given over here, these questions will be there. Okay, first we take one layer, then on that layer we give a motion guide, and then on the motion guide layer we draw a random path using pencil tool. And then we become, it means that there is a relation of the motion guide with the pencil tool. Why? Because using pencil tool or using brush tool, normally we draw that path, random path, on which we want to move our object. Okay. Now, what are the options that we mark? Now, MCQs can come about it. Okay, please keep in mind. What were the options that we were marking when we were doing snap checkbox? We had marked this in the property inspector. Also select the orient to path motion. We had marked this option as well when we applied the motion guide to an object. So these are the things which may be asked in the MCQs. So if we know the steps, they are not asking you for the steps to write steps, no. But if they are asking you which option will be marked, so it is a knowledge-based question, so it could be asked in this way. So you have to go through this text so that we can prepare well. Okay. Applying filters. Then we had applied such filters from the filter options in the Flash, like bevel, glow, drop shadow, gradient glow. All these filters we had applied to our work, just like if we have got some text over here, so we can apply these filters to it. So such filters are available in filter menu, filter option. We can go to that option and we can apply. So we had applied the filters as well. Up to here, if you have got any question, please raise the hand. Kindly. Anything that you would like to ask. From Abiha Shehbaz to Maria, and then Rukaiya. Okay. I have marked the attendance. Yes, please. Anything would you like to ask about this discussion we have done about this chapter? Now we will move ahead in the same chapter. So if you are asked, let's suppose I'm just giving you example. Which of the following is not a filter effect? Bevel, glow, drop shadow, and I give any other thing which is not a filter effect. So you have to identify that which one is not a filter effect. Such kind of questions will become, of course, the question will be from this text that we have got in this chapter. Okay. Similarly, we have got the blur X and blur Y that we can apply on our work. Okay, different types of effects are there. So these effects, you know very well that when we type some text, let's suppose, so we can apply such steps to our work, just like over here it is mentioned that if you have drawn text tool, you have typed something with the text tool, we will select the text tool using arrow tool. Click the filter panels in the flash window and then we will apply. Means we will click it with the arrow tool. This is the arrow tool. Okay. Let's suppose if I want to increase its size, I want to change its color. Now this is the text that I have taken. Now the filter option is not available right now. The filter is not switched on. So we will have to open the filters. Yes, here are the filters. So we will have to apply the filters from here. Okay, filter is switched on over here with the properties. We will go there and these are the filters available. We can apply the filter, we can remove the filters as well. So you can apply any of the filter. For example, bevel I have applied. You can apply multiple filter at a time. Glow. Glow in which color? Red color, yellow color. Let's suppose I say in yellow color. Okay. So I have applied the glow over here in yellow color. I can apply the glow in the red color depending on my requirement. Okay. Then you can see that we have got the drop shadow. If I want to have a shadow of it, so we have got this shadow over here that we have dropped. Angle of the shadow is 45 degree. Distance is 5. If you want to increase, then you will see that the shadow has been dropped on some distance, just like over here. So these all are basically the filters available over here. We can add as many filters to one object. We can increase the brightness, we can increase the contrast, saturation. So these all are the filters. If we want to remove the filters, we can go and we can say that remove all. So all the filters have been removed. Control Z, I pressed Control Z to apply again. So these are the filters. You may have questions, MCQs, because these all names are available in this discussion and we had gone through these all options. So you can see over here that you should know that basically these are the names of the filters. What we can do, we can apply filter, we can remove filter, we can disable filter, okay, for some time. So these all options are there which are related to, and whenever we are taking different filters, you will see we have some different properties of those filters, just like glow, drop shadow, adjust, bevel. Okay, so we have got some properties related to inner shadow. If I say inner shadow, then inside shadow is there. Hide object, temporarily it will be hide if whenever you will click. If you want to change its color into yellow or black or green, any the other color, you can do this thing as well. Fine. I hope all these things are clear about the filters. So you may have MCQs. Of course, these will be related to our text, related to our chapter, quite easy because we have done all these things and you scored well in your previous test as well. Applying timeline effects. What are different timeline effects? Flash provides predefined motion twins that can be applied to graphic symbol. For this thing, we will go to the insert and then insert timeline effect. Let's suppose expand. The dialog box appears with options for the expand. So over here, if I've got this object, timeline effects are available. Edit timeline effect. Let's suppose these are the timeline effects. Now you may be asked that what are the timeline effects? List down the timeline effects. So timeline effects contains blur, drop shadow, expand and explode. We had discussed about the expand. When you will click on the expand option, you will see this type of dialog box. So we can click on it, so this effect will be applied. Okay, so this effect has been applied to this animation expand. Now if I take another example, again I write over here PSM. I select this text, I go to the timeline effect. Now this time I am giving drop shadow. Now this is the drop shadow. We can set these properties from here. In which color you want to have shadow. If, for example, I say red color, then of course we are going to apply that color as well. How much shadow is required? We can change the shadow over here. Okay. So now if I go to the timeline, drop shadow. Yeah. So we have applied this. So it will only drop the shadow effect over the timeline. There isn't any particular animation in it. Now we take a new file and we go to again timeline effect. Insert timeline effects and we apply the blur. Now blur is showing you such kind of effect. So when it will be applied, so you'll be able to see such kind of result, blur effect. So basically these are the, you will also explore this one as well. This one, explode. Okay, so explode is also one of the options. Now our class time is now almost about to over. Anyway, but we will go to the insert option, insert timeline, time effect, timeline effect, explode. Now in the explode, what will happen? It will do in this way. When we will run it, we'll be able to see this kind of. So you have to go through all these, we had explained the expand only, all the other options are also there. And sound, we were not able to include because of the different format. But you should know that the sound, what are the different sound files available which help us to be attached with the flash. .mp3, .aif, .wave. For example, if I give a list and I ask you that which one is not supported by the flash, .mp3, .aif, .wave, or .dat. So then you are going to say that this one is not available, not supported. But these are the supporting wave files that we can have in our work. The questions can also come from the tricky terms as well. You will see the tricky terms: define frame, what is stage, what is keyframe, what is filter. Memory bytes are also there. You will go through complete text, and the MCQs given at the end of the chapter are also there, and the short questions. Okay, so I have got these questions from where I am teaching. I hope all of you have got these questions for which we wrote the answers. Okay, and I had given you the list of the, let me match it because one question was there about it, so that this problem should be resolved. If some different question is there, doesn't matter, but all these questions should be covered, I hope. Okay. First question is how you can convert a layer into mask layer. So what we have written over here in this chapter. How can you convert a layer into mask layer? First question. Then see over here the second question. What is the use of onion feature, onion skin feature? What is the use of onion skin feature? We have written the same. Number D is that can you delete a layer? Can you delete a layer? How? Yes, we can delete a layer by right clicking on it. Delete option will appear. Okay, list the steps to change the order of layers. So this question I think we have not done because this contains the steps. Can you delete a layer? We have done. How can you identify frames in the timeline? How the frames are identified? This question is there. We have written this one. Now question number F is there. What are the keyboard shortcuts to insert a keyframe? What is the keyboard shortcut we had discussed about? F6. Such a question can come in the MCQs. Okay, so we have written this one as well. Now come to the next question. What are the keyboard shortcuts to insert a key frame and a frame? We have done this. List the steps to apply filter. Now this contains the steps. How will you add sound to this is also based on the steps. Then analyze the use of layers and their importance we have done over here. Now you can see over here, analyze the use, this is I. Analyze the use of importance of the layers in Flash. Question number J is there. Ali was asked to create an animation in Flash to welcome new students to his class. Explain to him the different ways. This is not about steps. The different ways. What are the tools that we can use of doing using masking layers and filters? Okay. So we have written this thing that we can use masking layer, we can apply filter, we can apply gradient glow, we can apply glow or bevel, drop shadow, all these things we can use. So this was the text of the chapter, that exercise I had given in this chapter. So the questions can come from this exercise as well, but not all the questions. The questions will come from the text. So you have to go through the complete text. You'll be able to write the basic things, just like how can you insert image. That was file, import to stage. If the tools are not visible, how can you open the tools? You know the shortcut, Control F2. Such kind of shortcuts can be asked. Okay. If the timeline is not visible, what is the shortcut? Alt Control T. In MCQs, such kind of question. Properties, Control F3. If the properties are not visible, you'll press Control F3 and you will be able to see the properties using Control F3. Okay, so over here similarly, what is the shortcut to for a new file, for to open one file, to save the file? These are the basic things. So these basic things can also be asked in the MCQs. Okay, but mainly the concern will be of course with this chapter, which is chapter number 8. So what we have done today, we have done a complete revision of chapter number 8, how different questions will be asked. and what type of MCQs may be asked related to different topics available in this chapter. Your test will be conducted, of course, in the unit of the computer science. It has been shared in your WhatsApp groups. Right now, if you've got any question, please. If you have got any question, just raise the hand. We have only 2 or 3 minutes. If you have got any related question, kindly ask me. Nurul Huda.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Welcome.
Sir, I want to ask that in on Sunday we have to join Zoom classes.
You can connect, but still it is not mentioned. I think over there it was mentioned that you have to appear in the Google Classroom. Google test will be conducted in Google Classroom, just like you had given. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And one more thing is there. If there is any student who has got any fee issue, so then in that situation he or she will not be allowed to appear in the test, and even he or she will not be allowed to appear in the classes as well. Okay, so if someone has got such kind of issue, so they should resolve it as well to avoid any inconvenience. Any question, anything that you would like to ask? I hope all of you are giving due time to your studies. You all of you are studying. Nothing is there to ask. Okay, it means that all the things are clear to all the students. What should I consider? Good. It means all the things are clear to all of you, and I hope all the students will write in a better way and will not leave any question. Will write the complete answers in MCQs. Will mark the correct answer after thinking. Don't need to get in hurry. There isn't any award to solve the paper in less time. You have to solve the paper in its due time with proper way by considering that the option that you are marking should be correct. Okay, so I hope all of you will perform good in your coming test. Thank you so much, all of you.